Dragons. Huge creatures known for their strength. Agility. And ferocity. They are one of the toughest bosses in Toram Online, with nature by their side. They use their physical and magical powers to whoever dares to get in their way. They are the predators. And we are the prey. If you're not careful enough, they will hunt you down. Some of them are easily recognized due to their name. While some of them has a status which are still debatable. But today, we are not going to fight over which creature is a dragon, nor are we going to calculate their hidden stats. Right now, it's about time to know their story. The Flame Dragon. The latest main quest boss in Toram Online is of the latest update on January 2022. As described in the creature's title, this dragon used the fire element in an attempt to evaporate the whole spring in Divided Valley. However, the Flame Dragon has been put into stop by Visaria, one of the 12 legendary gods of Iruna. Just as Kino is the goddess of wisdom and Visaria is the goddess of water. These dragons have also titles in their names, and from their titles we are able to determine the nature and power of these dragons. A question arises in mind. Who are the famous dragons in the Iruna world from the past? As we all know, many of the dragons disappeared during the Cataclysm and many evil dragons had started to appear in Iruna in the last centuries. So one may wonder, who were the dragons that also ruled in the Iruna world before the Cataclysm? Let's find out. I went out to do research about the famous dragons that had appeared in Iruna history. I list these dragons and these are the notable ones that I have found so far. Furtan the Rock Dragon, Blair the Fire Dragon, Blitz the Thunder Dragon, Eisen the Ice Dragon, Blausen the Wind Dragon, and Xanth the Sand Dragon. There are also the Water Dragons. However, unlike the other dragons, the title of the Water Dragon was not limited to one but many dragons. These dragons were known as the Elemental Dragons due to their name. Moreover, there were also unique dragons which were non-elemental in roles and powers such as, Altered, or Alden, the Sage Dragon, the dragon who's full of wisdom. Yordun the Star Dragon, the dragon who were able to read the stars and see fate, future. Finstern the Dark Dragon, Dragon Lord Kaiser, and Ignis the Dragon God. Among these dragons, only 3 of them had already appeared in Toram Online. Furtan the Rock Dragon, Finstern the Dark Dragon, and Kaiser the Dragon Lord. Furtan in the Toram Online storyline appeared in the Toram world. He was attacking the tree that protects the town of the Eumanos. However, he had been defeated by the adventurer together with Eumanos as soon as they saw him. In the ancient times, Furtan was originally located at the Gameboard Cave, which in the modern day is the Forgotten Cave. It had a large crystal displayed as soon as you enter the place. The crystal will then teleport someone who touched it towards near the location where the sanctuary of Furtan the Sage Dragon was. However, if you manage to reach the Area 3 of the Gameboard Cave, you will have to face Furtan the Stone Dragon, who was also the protector of the sanctuary at that time. Suppose someone dared to force its way towards the sanctuary, Furtan, who obviously not in the best state, small dragon, at that time, will summon creatures to fight the intruder. If he got exhausted, he will just draw energy from the surroundings to restore what was lost in himself. This can be easily done by them because dragons are life forms that coexist with nature. They can draw inexhaustible power from the nature in the past due to the abundance of the goddess beads at that time. Unlike today, most of the goddess beads have been lost, first, due to the excessive mining of it, and second, was due to the cataclysm that happened many years ago. In the pre-cataclysm and post-God War past, Furtan was in the Forgotten Cave, B2, while Furtan the Sage Dragon was sealed behind him. After the undoing of Furtan's seal, he lived for a while until he met the legendary adventurer. Furtan was the first boss and the first dragon who had been encountered by the legendary adventurer in the past. In the Toram online storyline, he was the first dragon that we met in the Toram world. With that being said, I went to the Forgotten Cave in the present times to do an investigation. The place is in a terrible state. Waters are splashing everywhere. The way towards the Forgotten Cave, B2 seems to have been changed after the cataclysm. As I went to the location of Momfluck, the seal of Furtan the Sage Dragon was nowhere to be found. Probably the seal was broken during Cataclysm. Now what could have happened to the Sage Dragon? We managed to see Furtan in the Toram world. Well, that implies a possibility that, probably, we may be able to meet Furtan the Sage Dragon in the near future. Finstern the Dark Dragon, a famous boss to level from level 200. Many players gather here either to level up or to find the max. Finstern was one of the ancient dragons that still live in the present. In the ancient times, Finstern had his own domain hidden and its location cannot be found by the gods unless permitted by him. Finstern the Dark Dragon was able to see things happening in Iruna through his skin. Moreover, in the post-God War and pre-Cataclysm past, he can be found at the top of the Elf Mountains, which today is the Dark Dragon Shrine. His duty at that time was to stop people from crossing the Mithrana Federation to the Darkened Principality. In the Toram online storyline, he was told by Dunkel, the goddess of darkness, to stop the invasion of weird creatures, Koanubias, that are coming from Eldenbaum. The upstairs behind him was an easy route towards a darkened principality. However, the easy route towards the tree was broken today. But, see that bridge? In order to get to the tree, you have to go all the way through the Erelden Street to cross the long bridge towards the Forest Divine to be officially in the former location of Darkened Principality. Finstern used to call Darken as a land of fools in the past. Due to the Darken Elves' gravest of blunders of excessive mining of goddess beads, which caused their former kingdom in the ground collapsed. Moreover, when Finstern had an encounter with the legendary adventurer, he dropped a very important truth about the game's multiverse. As sure there is light, there is darkness. Finstern here implied the concept of balance, which are very essential for us to know how the game's multiverse works. Athema Ruins. A very special spot to some people, including me. It is a beautiful place and has a nostalgic BGM. Moreover, lies here was the path towards a ruined Dragon Isle, where Dragon Lord Kaiser resides during the Alpha test. Today it was inaccessible to the players. Aside from becoming a boss in Toram Online, who is the Dragon Lord Kaiser? Let's ask some people in the towns. But, before that, let's suit up. Let's go. Hello, Mr. Guitar Man. May I ask you something? Do you know who Kaiser is?
No, sorry.
Do you know who Kaiser is?
Nope, why?
Do you know who Kaiser is?
No.
Hello, may I ask you something?
Yes? What?
Do you know who Kaiser is?
No XD.
Do you know who Kaiser is? There are few people from our interview who knows the Dragon Lord Kaiser. So he was the Dragon Lord Kaiser. Dragon Lord Kaiser had his first appearance during the Alpha test. He was one of the raid bosses at that time. His location can be found in the Dragon Lord Isle, which were located after Athema Ruins during the Alpha test. After its official release, the path towards the map has now been closed and inaccessible. Dragon Lord Kaiser has been one of the well-known dragons in Iruna, but one thing that distinguished him from the other dragons was that he was known as the creator of Bleudraf, the world of Dragonoots. In other words, Dragon Lord Kaiser is the god of that world. The Bleudraf world was being created at the same time during the creation of Iruna. The relationship of these two worlds were described as two sides of the same coin, meaning that these two worlds coexist with each other. Bleudraf was originally built by the dragons. However, after its creation, the world was inhabited by the descendants of the dragons known as Dragonoots. Hence, the world was also called the Dragonoots realm. Moreover, Dragonood was only a generalization of their species. Similar to the 4 distinctions of humans in Iruna, there are also 4 distinct kinds of the Dragonoods: Dragists, Dragistas, Dragnoffs, and Dracros. Dragists form the bulk population of Bleudraf. They were the ones who managed the government and the industries within the realm. Dragnoffs, on the other hand, were somewhat smaller than the Dragists, and they were known to have a very shrewd business minds. Finally, Dragistas were the ones suited for military, while Dracrols were involved in spiritual and religious matters. These Dragonoods looked even until the legendary adventurers step into their world. Rococo City. It was once a busy town both for players and NPCs alike. It was the counterpart of Sophia City today, where most people gather around and do economic activity mostly. From this place in the past, you can go either to the Dragon Lord Isle or to the large hole in Martel Epicenter, a path linking to the Bleudraf world. Let's take a look at these at the map of Iruna online based on map.irunawiki.com. In order for you to go to the Dragon Lord Isle in the pre-cataclysmic and post-God Warpass, you have to go from Rococo City, then Rococo Plains, Sog Swamp, then finally Dragon Lord Isle. However, in the present times, the next destination after Rococo Plains is now Mount Mitherna. We have to realize that due to Cataclysm the former arrangement of the lands was now gone. However, the Bleudraf world is something I'm really looking forward to go to. Going back to the map again, in order to go to Bleudraf, you can start from Rococo City, then Ronfa Mountains, Rococo Coal Mining Village, Bayloon City, Fort Bayloon, then Martel Epicenter. A large crater, hole, in the Martel Epicenter was formed due to the destructive power of the magical weapon. Through that crater, we will be able to step into the world of the Dragonoods. However, you cannot move from Rococo City if you try to follow this sequence in the current storyline. At least not yet. A map under construction is still ongoing towards the path to Ronfa Mountains. Could we be able to go to the Martel Epicenter, then straight to Bleudraf? Suppose this map has been released? I really hope that the route doesn't change even after the Cataclysm. We'll find out in the future MQ updates. All we have to do for now is wait. Good news! However, you don't have to wait in order to see a Dragonute. Ancient Emperor's Tomb, a very important historical place in Iruna. In this former palace was a great battle between the legendary adventurer and the ancient enemy of Iruna ever since the creation of the world. A few walks from here, you will be able to meet the remaining species of the Dragonutes. It's also remarkable that only in this place you will ever find one. Bone Dragonute is the name currently. Its appearance is very different compared to the ones that were wandering everywhere in Iruna from the past. It is literally a living bone right now. No skin. Lifeless. What could possibly have been the cause of this evolution, especially to their appearance? Is this something related to the Cataclysm incident that happened many years ago? These questions have been boggling my mind ever since. So I pondered, and think. What can we deduce from this mystery? Dragonutes, descendants of dragons, Kaiser, their relationship, alpha test. I went up to search up some old videos during the alpha test and I realized something. The appearance of Kaiser during the alpha test is very similar to the appearance of the bone Dragonutes. Both are skinless and lifeless. Since the god of the Dragonutes is lifeless, the Dragonutes are also affected. One of the important truths in the game's multiverse is that once the god of the world died, so is everything in that world will die too. Kaiser in the alpha test was named Kaiser. Bang means crumble, collapse, burst, shoot, executing by shooting, and also ruin. The literal translation of the name according to Google Translate in English is Crumbling Dragon Kaiser. This kanji gives us an obvious idea that the Dragon Lord Kaiser is dying. In effect, the Dragonutes are also dying. If that's the case, then Bleudraf is in a terrible state right now. This is really an alarming situation since Iruna coexists with Bleudraf. But what could have caused Kaiser dying? Let's try to let our imagination fly a bit. In my view, it could have been due to the Cataclysm too. The collision of Toram and Iruna could have caused Bleudraf to shatter too. But that alone wouldn't make Kaiser dying since he have wings, of course. While flying he could have been trying to save the Dragonutes and arrange the lands to be intact again like what the 12 guides of Iruna did to save Iruna. The Dragon Lord could have been saving and trying to preserve the Dragonutes by entrusting them to the ancient Empress. While the Dragon Lord was doing these tasks, it could have been that he had encountered an opposition, X, during the process. A very strong opponent that caused Kaiser in a dying state. One of the meaning of bang is executing by shooting. Probably the opponent could have shot Kaiser something lethal which caused his terrible state. Furthermore, it could have been that the Dragonutes patiently waited for a very long time for the Dragon Lord's return to retrieve them back to Bleudraf. Clueless of the Dragon Lord's situation, the Dragon Wets has been waiting and starting to decay too in the ancient Empress tomb. So, when will the Dragon Lord be back? When are we going to fight the crumbling Dragon Kaiser from the alpha test again? Since we met many dragons in this storyline are heading over them, will we be able to finally meet and fight the crumbling Dragon Kaiser again? Since we had already met Furtan the Rock Dragon, who is originally from Iruna, now in the Toram world, will we be able to meet Kaiser in Toram too? What could have been the reason behind the rampaging dragons in Toram? Where are the other dragons of Iruna after the Cataclysm? These mysteries will be brought onto light as we encounter a living Dragonute under the Mount Vulcany. New main quests are going to be released, and soon we will be able to find answers to these mysteries. All we can do for now is to wait, speculate, and theorize. I am Thane, the brutal dark fighter. And this is the story of the dragons.